used to keep saying fragile. Tell me how it's making night. With the hurricane coming out from the inside.
So here we are. We're in the Hall of Fame actually at the MacKenzie House concert. My darling Clementine. I don't think Peter Tosh has played here, but they've probably seen Peter. Stephen Clancy's place. We all have witnessed a Little Feet gig together. And Paul Barrera and Fred Tackett have actually played at this house concert. Squarefield Cycles and Medicine Music, Fred Tackett and Paul Barrera. Strathpeffer on the 28th of October. Now, whatever year that was, 2007, says on the pass. Anyway, check this out. There's the Feats and Dibbies and Dans Rock Family Tree peak frame. Has done that. Kinky Friedman hasn't played here, I don't think, not yet. So things are getting prepared for this evening's house concert. It is with Ewan Macintyre. Kitchen's very active at the moment. I'll come back and talk to folks in a minute. Check this.
I'm trying to tell you that there's more to life than music. Don't know why, I don't know why tonight. Yes, you seem so different life. You can try to brush it off. Just another day that you got to. Same way people all down now. Never less to say. For the last, the best word will tell you won't listen. Even if deep down your stream and hell is oh, I believe when you used to keep saying fragile and cool. Count the hearts every night. The hurricane coming out from the inside. I was bubbling up from the way that you know the reality can't be hard to find. It's the seams to the different. You can try to brush it off. Just another day that you got. Same day, all down, never less, the best and worst of you. We'll tell you, and won't listen. Even if deep down your street and hell, please let me go. Well, I will tell you, you won't listen. Even down your street and hell, please let me go. I'm sick of that buzz on the sidewalk. I'm sick of that buzz on the sidewalk. I'm sick of that buzz on the sidewalk.
Wow. I'll just interrupt just a minute if it's all right with you guys.
Absolutely.
So we're at the MacKenzie House concert, as I have explained to everyone. Isn't it great?
Fantastic.
So please, Ewan, introduce us to the rest of the band,
yeah.
please.
This is Tamlin Wiltshire on the drums.
We have Bado Reti on the double bass. And we have Freya Rae on the clarinet, fiddle, and the flute.
We've got, we've met through Southern Tenant Folk Union originally, but you've just floored me actually, because it turns out that I'm a family friend. There's a huge Nairn connection. Yeah. And your dad, Simon, and your granddad had the Clifton Hotel in Nairn forever. Yeah, forever.
Yeah, so as I was just saying,
I'm going to come round here because there's a glare behind you.
Oh yeah. So my uncle was involved in the first ever Rob Ellen live stream, right? Is that right?
Well, it wasn't mine, it was your uncle's.
Oh, it was my uncle's. Okay.
Yeah.
And at the time you could only have one person viewing it.
Yeah.
But,
he was a technical expert on the big shop.
So he was ahead of his time. He had a Nairn, the Internet Cafe in Nairn. I don't think anybody went there.
No,
People were like, internet, what? We don't need that.
No, there was huge game nights. I seem to remember a lot of gamers and stuff like that. Yeah,
Age of Empires and totally.
So we'll put this out to Charlie and your dad, Simon, all the other Macintyres that are everywhere. And you were saying that you were part of that big shop as a toddler as well, which I can remember.
Yeah, I mean,
not a toddler. You were a youngster.
Yeah, it was like 10 or 11, maybe 11, 12.
Amazing.
And I was in one of the shows in the big shop. For anybody who doesn't know what that is, basically my dad did a bunch of different things in towns and took over abandoned shops and did.
He highlighted the fact that
from the area.
Excuse me, I'm interrupting. He highlighted the fact of the demise of the high streets.
Totally, yeah.
When it was quite a move to do, really.
Yeah.
And filled empty shops with theatre pieces, original theatre pieces.
Yeah. And I was one in a dance one with this guy
Eric Letitia Levine.
Right, yeah. Me and my sister, and we were mostly in cardboard boxes. I can't really remember. And he was just kind of manipulating us and putting us into different places.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Amazing, eh?
Yeah, totally.
So I found all this out just now. So thank you very much for informing me on all of that. So let's try and catch up then. Theatrical family, it's Edinburgh Puppet Theatre. So you'd have been growing up with puppet heads coming out your dress.
And I remember that one, the first Star Wars film, the new, the terrible ones. But at the time, I made a Darth Maul giant puppet.
Of course you would have.
Oh yeah, and my sister made a Qui-Gon Jinn one, and we battled our giant puppets, because that was another thing with these shows. They would always end up with a giant parade at some point.
Loads of street entertainment.
Yeah.
The amazing thing about that whole thing was when it started out, it was lottery funded, so there was a lot of, they should be fixing the potholes and all that sort of stuff going on.
Yeah.
By the end of it, it sold out every night for a week.
It was an amazing thing.
And even the provost came along, and because we're all local stories.
Right, yeah.
And he was dead against it from the onset, and then he come out. Everybody was switched on to it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were hating on my dad, and they're being like, "Oh, who's this kind of doing theatre in the?"
Fun memories for me.
Good put yourself out there.
Yeah, we got to help with the administration and run a music venue, and had the best of times that whole week.
I was too young, of course, to go to the bar at that time, but
Well, that's right. We should do it again.
Yeah.
We should do it again, Simon.
So he did one in Forest.
Yeah.
And then also in Inverness, and then in Edinburgh or in Leith. And it's amazing. He should definitely do it again.
I think. They might be coming around for a 20th anniversary, actually. Maybe 30th.
Yeah.
So let's catch up with your music. So, you're based these days in
Skye. Yeah. So I started working
and the band are scattered all around.
Yeah, totally. So they're mostly, I kind of have dubbed them, or asked them, the Misty Belters, because I'm like in the Skye area. Yeah. So they're like Fife, Glasgow, and Edinburgh. And so I don't know, it's a musical project that started really when I've been living in Canada, in Montreal, and just generally in Quebec for the last while. and there I met somebody who made some albums and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the project was just me and different musicians that I would find along the way. And now I'm back in Scotland, so it's like get your pals, make a band.
It's a total eclectic mix of music as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah, because it just like depends on what I'm listening to, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm writing a song, and then maybe it sounds like it's like got an influence from Billie Holiday, or maybe it's got an influence from some like Appalachian bluegrass, or maybe from like Paul Brady or something like that. So so it's a mix. Yeah.
And you got the best of musicians to help you out.
I'm lucky in that way, for sure. Yeah, they're class.
Albums out at the moment?
I have 4 albums, one is You Probably Look Better Naked Anyway. That's the first EP. And then there's one called Road Junkie, which is just named after me basically touring across Canada and just, living out of a van for a while.
I'm going to do some of that.
And then I made one that I released just at the beginning of COVID called Dream on Sally that I never really toured. And then, because by the time COVID had ended, I'd made another album which is called 21st Century Fool. Yeah. And so we're playing a mix of all of those albums tonight. And
festivals coming up this summer.
So we've got 4 warm-up gigs here, 3 on Skye, and then 1 in Edinburgh, and then we're going to play down in Knockengard Festival, and then in Fine Festival, and then there's a few other bits and bobs. So we'll also be in Fintone at the Fintone Bay Arts Festival I think at the end of September. Excellent. And I should really get my dates sorted.
Well, they'll be up on your website. I can do that. I can put your website up. I can. I'm going to do that for everybody. Thanks for joining us, guys. Look, you can watch your Facebook page. Nice. So thanks for joining us. Nice to have you with us. I will come back and broadcast a couple of songs from the show. Would that be fine?
Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it as well. Let's go get these guys fed. Yay. They've all come from all parts of Scotland to do this tonight. So thank you for all of that. That's Ewan Macintyre. We're at the MacKenzie House concert here in Strathpeffer. Always one of my... It's always a red letter day when that happens. Always one of my favourite places to be. So thanks to Stephen Clancy as well.